Yeah.
And they didn't know what to do. They didn't have good dialogue at all. It's just really a poor translation. But the first 3 games are really good, and they have like Scooby-Doo references and things like that.
I wouldn't know.
I like the Scooby-Doo references. Those were good.
Yeah.
And the Canadian references.
Canada.
They have a Canadian judge, which was actually good.
Oh wow.
But I'm only thinking of that because that's the thing I just played. But I think if you watch my video walkthroughs, if half the time if it's a line that I find really amusing, I'll say it out loud and comment on it.
Yeah.
So like when Emma says, "He's my hero." No, what does she say? Edgeworth makes an objection. She's like, "Oh, what a hunk. He's my hero." Really? It's just such an out of place line because he hasn't done anything hunky or heroic at all.
Yeah.
He's just being a jerk.
Yeah.
So, I made a point to say that as her just to make fun of it.
Yes.
But I remember that line still. I find it amusing because it was so out of place.
Yeah.
Any more comments?
Have you ever played a game and immediately loved it? You already talked about Ocarina of Time.
What about you, Jeddy? I mean, have you ever seen somebody play a game and then immediately love it?
I don't think so. Although I am a big fan of Front Mission and Front Mission 4. When I first played that, I was like, this game is amazing.
I think the same thing happened to me with Phoenix Wright 2, but that was the first Phoenix Wright game I played.
Yeah. This was my fourth.
This is your 4th game in the series that you liked. Yeah.
So, yes.
That it's I think it works better for older games or less complicated games, I think, because nowadays I think with huge expansive games, it's like the gameplay gets old quick, or I'm thinking of Legend of Zelda for the GameCube, where the start of the game is nothing like the end of the game.
Yeah.
So it's like, so they tricked you.
Yeah.
They put all the cool stuff at the beginning to make you think it's a great game, so you should play it.
Yeah, Xenogears was kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Front Mission 4, they did a lot of improvements compared to the previous Front Missions, so it was pretty neat. I don't know.
Okay.
Comments. We got comments on YouTube.
Okay, cool. And then we're gonna leave because I have to pick people up.
Oh. Okay, I'll rush through this. Luigi Mansion 2. Weren't we just talking about this?
We were.
Luigi's Mansion 2 is about the only thing I can think of as, oh, hey, that's coming out. Or, oh, somebody said that.
Yeah, it was the only game which was actually a surprise, I think.
Well, okay, actually, somebody had said that in the podcast, and he
on the
was...
podcast, yeah.
This is Sax Dude Malloy again.
Uh-oh.
He was quoting them, and he says, what about Rayman Origins? I mean, no more Rabbids, back to the roots of the old limitless hero. I'm psyched for that.
I haven't played any Rayman or Rayman Driving Rabbids. I remember in, what's that game? Prince of Persia, The Warrior Within, where you could get the Rayman glove as a special hidden item. And that's as close as I've gotten to touching that series.
Yeah, I've never played it either.
But maybe it's exciting if you're a fan of the series.
Probably.
It's like if they announce a Mario game, it's like, here's a Mario game and it's a big focus on Yoshi. And so people who are big fans of Yoshi I think that's the comparable thing. That's a good comparison.
Next comment. A decent puzzle game for the PC. Big Kahuna Reef 2. It's like Bejeweled, but fish-themed and with explosions. Other than that, the first 2 Oddworld games would be good choices if Sarah likes puzzle performers. Oh, okay, I think she's...
So this was a comment from somebody named Sarah sent in a question.
Okay, yeah, last time, remember, Sarah asked, what are good games?
Is this the same Sarah or a different Sarah?
Okay, this is Sax Dude Malloy again saying this, but giving an answer to Sarah who asked a question on the previous podcast.
Yes. I think as GameCola writers, we are legally required to say that we like Telltale's puzzle game. Nelson Tether's Puzzle Agent, which they just released a sequel to, and we're all excited about it.
Hooray.
And Paul sent out an email to the staff saying, does anybody want a copy of the review code? And nobody answered. But we still like it.
or Machinarium, which is a steampunk point-and-click.
Oh, that's not that bad.
So these are games that he is suggesting to Sarah.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sax Dude Malloy. Next comment. Don't be so modest, you guys. You have a lot of fans, including me. For PC, I like And Then There Were None from the Agatha Christie series.
I've heard bad things about that game, or I've heard bad things about the remake for it for the Wii. Horrible controls.
Well, this is the Wii.
Of the Wii version?
Well, no, I mean, this is the PC version that they're talking about, but, I could only imagine bad controls on the Wii.
Ooh, well, I thought that it would be a really smart idea to do point-and-click adventures on the Wii, but everybody disagreed.
Yeah. It's mostly adventure, though, but that's my fave PC game right now. And, of course, there's always the Nancy Drew series, Michael Gray.
Yes.
And on the topic of game rage, yesterday, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, that seems to be a popular topic today, I killed a Redead with fire, and it promptly stood up and killed me.
Yeah, that would incite game rage. I think what she's trying to say is that she did it like a split second too early, and then so the attack had no effect, which is unfair. Don't you hate it in a game where like you attack the enemy, but you did it like a second too early or a second too late, and you die? I agree.
Yes.
But Ocarina of Time isn't a popular topic just because the remake just came out, right?
Oh, did it?
Yeah, the remake, the 3D remake came out, and all the reviews are people who just love the original game, and they talk about the original game rather than actually mentioning the remake at any point in their review, which makes sense because the remake is not different at all, but I don't know, I haven't played the remake, but I get the sense that it's not different at all because nobody says anything about the new features.
Michael?
I can only guess there are no new features.
Is there an earthquake in California?
There could be.
Oh, I just hear a lot of rumbling.
That was me turning off the fan.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, and then they said, also I enjoyed your Drama Queens podcast. It was funny.
That was a funny one.
That was from Diana.
I thought Paul was going to do it's not from Sarah.
No, this is from Diana this time.
Oh, wow. I thought Paul was going to do a sequel to that, but then he didn't.
I thought that they were going to do another one.
They were going to do one for, like, his wedding or something? I'm not sure.
Oh, that's right.
But I missed out on his bachelor party where they did play video games because I was sleeping.
Huh?
Well, I had a long plane flight and then a long car trip. It was like a 2-hour car trip from the airport to the place where the wedding was.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to walk to the zoo?
Yeah. I basically had heat stroke for half the time I was in D.C.
Oh, that's fun.
I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, I'd recommend going to D.C., but not having heat stroke.
Oh.
Heat stroke gets a thumbs down.
Oh, that's sad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anything else?
The first 4 mins, I had no idea what was happening. ... Moonwolf 3445.
I think the first 4 minutes were self-explanatory.
Were they? Wasn't it just the introduction of the podcast?
I don't know. I don't know which video we're commenting on.
This was probably podcast 38 or 37 because we just recorded 38, or I just put 38 up. So I guess they would be talking about 37.
Okay, I think.
In which case.
Just watch the previous video to get the tail end of the previous conversation. I don't know.
That's a good point, actually, that it would have been. Yeah, I don't know which video in that podcast that it was.
It could have been like video number 3 and the person didn't watch video number 2 and so they don't understand the conversation topic at all.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
I know when I made like the podcast videos or videos based off the podcast, I tried to split them up into logical places, but that's not always possible. Yeah. We don't like limit our we don't have conversations in like convenient 10-minute chunks.
Sadly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually all of the comments and emails and stuff.
Okay, well, I've got to go, so I guess I won't be able to talk about the topics I actually brought. The topic I have from like 2008. I'll probably email it to you, and you can discuss it on the next podcast.
Oh, sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say, okay, housekeeping, go to GameCola.net, our website. Like us on Facebook. What is our Facebook? GameCola?
GameCola, yeah, and then Twitter, which is GameCola.
I thought it was gc.net.
That's our
Oh, no,
YouTube. Our YouTube is
YouTube.
gc.net.
Okay. Subscribe on iTunes and give us good reviews.
If you can figure
and
out
comment.
how.
Yeah. Comment and tell us that you love us.
Mm-hmm.
And send us an email at podcast@gamecola.net.
Yep.
Hooray.
Hooray, hooray.
It was a wonderful podcast. Okay, good work, Michael Gray, the Mike and Jeddy Show.
Yeah.
High five.
High five.
Yes, over the internet. Yes. Okay. Hooray, that was podcast number 39. Goodbye, everybody.
Okay, goodbye. Okay, see, I've got to go pick up my sister, who is not Sarah, from her work.
Yeah.
Well, I'm surprised I have to pick her up from her work. Isn't she going to go have dinner with all of her friends at her work because they all go out and eat together?